Southwest Florida, and welcome to the Off Script Podcast. Oh, this is our opportunity to just talk.
Yes, it is. So this is our neighborhood news podcast where we show you what's going on in Southwest Florida through the eyes of our community correspondents. And I have 4 bottles of water piled up down here.
It's really turning into quite the collection.
Shari's mad at me.
Yeah, let's just get right to it. So I was starting my day and, doing my job at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I opened my laptop and the laptop fell on my face, particularly on my lip, causing a disaster in my, wow, I'm glad this is hilarious.
I have a disorder where I laugh when people get hurt.
There was blood everywhere, ice. It was disgusting.
There was blood?
I have a picture. What do you think happens when you bust your lip?
I don't know. I didn't think you bled.
Girl, I almost called 911. But the superficial thing I was worried about, which I am kind of like embarrassed to say, was my teeth. I was like, I really hope I didn't you know what I mean? Anyway, I come to work, disguised it, used the concealer, everything like that.
And the
first thing Amy Wegman says to me is, "Oh my gosh, did you get your lips done?"
Because they looked so full.
Because they're swollen.
It was a side view, just to be fair. And she had walked in the studio. She had beautiful fuchsia lipstick on. And
full lips.
Like, "Dang, girl, did you get your lips done?"
No, they're just swollen.
They were full.
From a lap. That hurts. It's. I was telling Amy, it's like when the phone falls on your face. It's like that, but a laptop.
So were you holding it like
Yeah, just trying to
working?
catch up with the email. Yeah, and, talk to the producers. But I'm alive. It's first world problems.
This is your warning.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Don't laugh at your coworkers. Anyway.
How are you? Otherwise, how
you know
are
what?
you?
I'm good. I feel good today. Well,
Good.
like in this moment.
Yeah. We have an empty chair. That's because we have a special guest coming after the headlines of the day, and we talk about what's going on in Southwest Florida. We are talking about homelessness in Southwest Florida and how you can help, and so many other, intricacies with it. So stick with us for that because we're going to fill this chair in just a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
First, we want to talk about some of the stuff going on in Southwest Florida today.
We do. And I'm looking down. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure I catch the live. I hate when I am not paying attention to the live, live. So
yeah, if you have comments, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, you can join us on fox4now.com. But if you're on Facebook, drop a question if you have one, and we will try our best to answer it. Naples City Council.
Oh, man.
Big reversal.
Yes.
It was like gear shift.
Yeah, it's funny. I was cutting podcasts from like last week, and we literally said there's always conversation around the Naples airport, and here we are again talking about it.
Here we are again. So Naples City Council in June, they passed this measure basically saying that they wanted more control over the Naples airport. I think some of this comes because there were sound issues and all this other stuff. Anyway, there's a lawsuit a-coming, choo-choo down the train tracks, and the Friends of the Naples Airport, they filed this pre-suit notice like, hey, okay, cool, we're gonna seek legal action in this, because they were worried that the city council in Naples had too much authority over the airport. So council, they met yesterday and they were like, you know what, we're gonna drop it.
Yep.
So that's where things stand.
Yep.
It was happening, it was pushing forward, full reversal.
That was a win for the Friends of the Naples Airport.
Yeah, I don't think this is done yet. I think they're supposed to meet and talk about, how they work together moving forward, because there are things that need to be discussed, apparently. There are always two sides to a story,
Right.
So we will follow that closely. We have our community correspondent, Mahmoud Bennett, who covers Collier County, and he's all over it.
All right, let's go to Fort Myers Beach, another topic we were just talking about. But this is a project. We always talk about progress, moving forward, helping when it comes to erosion and problem solving when it comes to like big storms and stuff like that. This is so cool. Look at literally, this is a project 7 miles along Estero Island. They're literally drilling holes and planting these plants to help catch the sand to create new dunes to help with all the things. Erosion.
Yeah, so, obviously, if you were here for Hurricane Ian or any storm, really, you see how much sand washes away. Sand itself doesn't, stay on the beach, and we often do beach renourishment projects. Well, if you put these dunes in, the grass helps the sand to stay in place, and also, once it grows, it will act as a barrier, helping to prevent erosion, to prevent some flooding. So that's what's happening here. I was feeling really bad about my green thumb because I can barely keep a plant alive, and they're just like drill, throw, drill, throw, and it's going to flourish into this beautiful dune.
Yeah, these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah, 7 miles of this. It's important work.
Yeah, and they say also that if there is, you talked about that flooding, Amy. If there is flooding, the dunes will help to like create like a wave break to kind of help with like the impacts. So this has like multiple purposes as well.
Yeah, so if you see this, it's going to be something new that you see if you go out to Fort Myers Beach. Again, it's like 7 mile stretch. Stay off of it, let it grow. Don't let the kids pluck it. That's what my kids would probably want to do. Roll around in it, leave it be because it does need to grow to create that natural barrier. Because they put like millions and millions of pounds of sand on for beach renourishment after storms. They, do it every so often. It's expensive. It's very time intensive. So this is just one way that our local leaders are working to fight against that.
Big day for our friends in Immokalee yesterday.
Dude, they got a major upgrade. They had a ribbon cutting. Tiger.
Love that. Specifically that followed by the tiger. Yeah.
So this was a grant. And basically, they got major updates to sidewalks, bus stops, lighting. The list goes on. And it's huge. The community desperately needed that.
Right. Our community correspondent in Immokalee, Victoria Quevedo, literally said people in this community have been asking for this for years. Yeah. That is what made it such a big deal that it was finally happening yesterday.
Yeah, so this is federal money. It was a federal grant that made this possible, and the work is done. So that's why they had this ribbon cutting yesterday. I mean, we're talking also like drainage updates, bus shelters, just so many things that community really needs. And locals say in the Immokalee community, there are a lot of kids and adults walking and riding bikes. So that 22 miles of sidewalk, the drainage, it's just so important, especially the lights that they put on the street. There are a lot of kids out walking at night or in the early hours of the morning. So they said that's something that they were really happy about because it was just a game changer as far as, the nerves as a family member sending a kid out to be in the dark. Even an adult, you have to watch out. You got to be so careful out on the roadways.
That's right. There was a list. I literally was editing Quevedo's script yesterday, and there was like a full list of all of the changes. You can find that on our website. Just go to fox4now.com and click on her story.
Shari calls people by their last name if you didn't catch that. So Victoria Quevedo is our Immokalee community correspondent.
So true.
She just calls her Quevedo.
So true.
I'll be working. She's like, Wegman! Yeah?
That's accurate. That was like really good. Is it that annoying? Sorry about that.
No, you're not annoying at all.
Okay, thanks.
I love you.
I do call her. It's actually weird when I'm like, Amy. I'm like, who's Amy? Wegman.
Yeah.
Shipley.
Shipster.
Yeah.
Have you ever played Mortal Kombat? Are you like a video game person?
I'm not. Every time I try, even like with like Mario Kart, it's kind of embarrassing. I wasn't raised like that. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have video games.
Nor was I.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother definitely had a Nintendo.
Yeah.
We had a Commodore 64 because my dad worked for Digital, which is now HP, back in the day up in Massachusetts. So we had like a computer with games.
Love.
But, we weren't allowed to play on it a lot. We did have a Nintendo. I'm not a huge gamer, but I will say I will beat everyone at old school Mario.
Look at you. Okay.
Yeah. When I was on bed rest with the twins, I played some Super Mario Brothers.
Okay,
3, where you get the acorn or the feather or the tail? I can't remember. And then you get the raccoon tail and you can spin and fly.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
You go, girl. I did not know that about you.
I mean, comes from the childhood.
Not you being a gamer.
No. And then the other one, what's the game from when we were little? Up, down, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. It's Contra. Contra, right?
Our guest is nodding his head in approval.
Anyway, I have a big brother. Can you tell? The reason I bring that up is because there's a Florida woman, we have to give her a shout out, gave birth and is holding her 5-month-old baby, okay? Or 5-day-old baby.
Fierce.
Not month. 5-day-old baby, look. And she won, like literally won this tournament. And she's like gaming, and she said that her baby gave her inspiration halfway through.
You know that her eldest daughter had passed away.
No.
Yeah, so
That
she
broke
did
my
this.
heart.
I know, sorry, that took a turn, but it is important to mention that she said she did this in honor of her eldest daughter. But can we talk about how fierce of a feat this is?
Yeah.
And I also love what it says for like women in gaming,
Yeah.
or women in general. We can do anything.
Yeah, I guess she used to be a big gamer, and then when her daughter passed away, you can imagine how earth-shattering and devastating that is. She took a step back from gaming, so this was her way to kind of like honor her daughter who had passed a little bit. And she games, I was reading about it, to raise awareness for donations to NORD. I'm not too familiar with that, but that's what she did in her daughter's memory. So kudos to her. She said at one point she may have smushed her head just for like a split second while she was trying to like get the controller
Oh.
right.
But you know what I did read about this? Guess how much money she won?
How much?
$28.
That's it. It's more about the recognition.
It is more about the recognition, but she does get to go to some like conference in Atlanta or something like that. Like she won a trip as well. But I was like kind of surprised. It was $20.
Yeah, you expect it to be more.
I tried to look up Nord for you, but I just don't have a good connection in here.
It's okay.
All right.
We have a good connection. That's all that matters.
Amen, sister girl. Our producer Allie, always on top of it, says it's the National Organization for Rare Disorders.
Oh, poor
Yeah.
baby.
Thank you, my girl.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Uncrustables. Are you an Uncrustables fan? I guess I'm just asking you all the questions today.
Well, we always have them in our house.
So do we.
Yeah. It's lunch.
Strawberry, right?
Strawberry is the
Not the
go-to.
grape ones.
No. And then there what's the other one in the brown package?
There's like a Nutella one.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Nope.
like Pearl's favorite.
Too sweet.
Yeah.
That's like dessert.
Well, we call it lunch.
That's all right. Anyway, Uncrustables is trying to get into the high protein game. Okay. I might call this out just a little bit. Anyway, they have launched these high protein Uncrustables. Bright Eyed Berry is one of them. It's just peanut butter and strawberry jelly, but apparently it's what they are calling high protein, 12 grams of protein. And then there's another one with apple cinnamon jelly.
Mm-hmm.
However, I would just like to clarify.
Let's talk about the numbers.
Nutritionists are like,
Yeah.
hold the phone.
Yeah.
High protein. You need much more protein than that. And then this also has a ton of sugar.
Come on.
Carbs.
And
Like, if you're trying to eat high protein, this is not the way to go.
Right.
Eat some like grilled chicken or yogurt or, all the things.
It might not be as good as it sounds.
Yeah.
When it comes to the protein flavor, probably, but
32 grams of protein, I believe, is what nutritionists say is what they consider qualifying as high protein. That's a lot of protein.
that's a high number of protein in my like.
I was just talking to a nutritionist the other day, and he's like, you
Respect
should be
it.
eating 100 grams of protein. Was it per meal or per
Failing.
day? I can't remember. The moral of the story is I'm not eating enough protein.
Failing. Yes. But you know what?
It may or may
I was
not
gonna
show.
say when you're like on your fitness goal, like I'm working out, I'm doing the thing, and I'm eating high protein. You get like chiseled. You know
You
what I
do.
mean? Like when you up it, you can see the results of it.
Yes.
When you're not, you can also
You can see the results of it.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Well, thank you. So are you. But we just ordered First Watch. So
We did. Staying on our health kick of a topic, Nutella. Okay. I've been eating Nutella since I was a wee one because before it was a normal product in the United States, my family from Germany would bring Nutella when they came to visit.
I love this.
I'm like, bring me Nutella.
yeah.
Because, it was more, I'm sure you could have probably gotten it in the States all those years ago, but it wasn't like on the shelves like it is here. So anyway, they would bring Nutella jars over for us when I was little.
You were in the Nutella game before, like a lot of people were. Yeah.
Nutella toast is the bomb.
Let's go.
Or Nutella on strawberries and peanut butter. Or strawberries and bananas. Sorry. I don't know why I threw peanut butter in there.
It's okay.
That's weird. Anyway, Nutella and Hallmark are joining together because so many people are into Nutella now that they want you to send your favorite Nutella recipes because they are going to have a winner that's going to be kind of like honored at the Hallmark Christmas experience on social media. You're going to get a paid trip to the holiday celebration, and you can submit your recipes now through November 2nd.
What is your recipe?
See, that's the thing. I don't have a recipe. It's more just like, just throw it on.
Yeah.
I'm not like baking with it or cooking with it. It's, I consider it more of a dessert. Nutella toast or strawberries with Nutella, something like that for the
Yeah.
kids.
I would figure out some type of recipe. I would ask ChatGPT, to be honest with you, because I think the Hallmark experience would be an amazing experience.
Yeah, they do Christmas right,
100%.
right?
I'm like a big like Hallmark Christmas movie.
Are you?
Yeah,
Wait, do you sit there and like bawl on your couch with a thing of
a little
popcorn?
emotional. The holidays make me a little, sensitive.
It is my favorite time of year.
Same. And I love like, oh my gosh, is she going to get with the guy who came back to his small hometown? Spoiler alert,
Isn't
she
that
is.
literally every single movie?
I know, but it's just something about it like
It's warm and fuzzy.
it feels good.
It is warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Should we bring in our mystery guest?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me make sure his microphone's on.
We started a new thing. Remember, it's called Coming to the Chair.
Come on down to the chair. So we have Ben Bridges. He's the new CEO of St. Matthew's House. He was the VP of Programs. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Ooh, I just bumped my tooth. Look, that's karma for making fun of Shari's lip.
That's right. And I do
My
want
lips
to
are
say,
fine today.
Yeah, your lips look great. Your lips
Good, you're
look great.
safe from Amy Wegman.
Yes.
I do want to say good morning to Lee Rollerson. She's watching with us this morning, and she has a very, very special throwback ECS.
Aw,
My
go
ECS life.
Sentinels.
Yeah, one of my close friends. That's her mom. So I just wanted to shout her out and say
Oh my
hi.
gosh, I'm so glad she's watching. If you have any burning questions for Shari, even if they are from back in that day, like did she do this or did she do that, feel free to drop them below. Or if you have questions for Mr. Bridges, St. Matthew's House CEO, let us
Ask
know.
those questions. Yes. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so happy to have you.
Thanks a lot.
St. Matthew's House is such an important organization in Southwest Florida. If people aren't touched by it personally, they should at least know about it and feel like they can help out in some way. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys do. What's your mission?
Yeah, thank you. And let me just real quick throw back to your girl power discussion earlier. I've got 3 girls at home.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
So girls run the world,
Yeah.
as they should, right? But St. Matthew's House, yeah, we've been here in Southwest Florida for about 38 years now. And really our driving principles are one core purpose, addressing 3 issues using 5 pillars, right? And so our core purpose, the reason why we exist, is to ensure that no one experiencing hunger, homelessness, or addiction is alone or without a pathway toward restoration from crisis to contributor, right? And so those 3 things that we're addressing are those hunger, homelessness, and addiction, people that are experiencing those things here in Southwest Florida. And we do that with 5 pillars: our shelter network, our recovery program, our food assistance program, our transitional housing, and our workforce development. So that's kind of a quick pitch to describe what we do at St. Matthew's House.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people know of the homeless shelter, but there's so much more that you do. So, I mean, really, so much more. And you can learn about that when you go and check out their website and learn, dive a little deeper into that. Talk to me about what you want and need from the community. Like if they're not somebody who needs your services per se, they can still help.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of ways that the community can help. The first, and probably the one that we're most well known for, is through our thrift stores, right? And so all of our social enterprises, whether it's our thrift stores, our restaurant, our catering company, all exist to help to fund our programs. So anybody that's shopping in one of our stores, anybody that comes to eat at Lulu's Kitchen down in Naples, anyone that books an event with our catering company, they are helping to support our mission, because 100% of the revenue that we're able to generate in our stores and our social enterprises goes back to fund the mission. And that mission, looks like the 400 people that stayed with us last night through our shelter programs, through our transitional housing, the men and women that are in our recovery programs. So it takes a village for sure. But we also certainly always need volunteers, whether that's serving at our food assistance program, out at a distribution point, maybe it's bringing your community together, your school, your office, and hosting a food drive for us so that we can deliver food. We served about 2.5 million meals last year to our community through the hot meals that we serve every day across our campuses, as well as all the meals that we provided through our food assistance program.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
The scale is pretty big.
Can you talk about demand? I feel like this is a conversation we try to have on air as much as possible. Can you share with the community that's watching today the increase in demand that you've seen, and really when you started to kind of see that spike? I'm assuming maybe COVID, but maybe it's,
Yeah, it's easy to go back to COVID, and we certainly did see that spike. At our peak after COVID, we were serving about 25,000 families a month just through our food assistance program. But that impact, spread across housing insecurity, even, increases in substance use disorder. And so, the need continues to grow, and that's why we are trying to continue to grow, and then work with our partners who also are trying to grow to meet that demand, right? So here in Southwest Florida, I think our last count, we saw something about around 1,500 homeless individuals, as well as 1,700 children who are experiencing homelessness right now. And so obviously we can't meet the demand, on our own, and so we really rely on each other as nonprofit partners, and then more broadly, the community, to come alongside us and support that effort.
I think that sometimes people have this wrong perception in their head of who a homeless person is, right? you know, you can maybe see someone out on the streets, or maybe you think of like drug abuse or mental illness, but a lot of times, like, they are a child of someone, they are maybe a parent, a brother, a sister. And sometimes I think people who never thought they would end up in that situation are in that situation. Can you talk a little bit about that stigma?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up, because when we think about our unhoused neighbors or people that are experiencing homelessness, hopefully for just a temporary time, to your point, a lot of times they carry that stigma with them. But the reality is, so often those things like an addiction, even mental health challenges, are a result or a symptom of their situation. So it may have been a job loss, it may have been a health emergency, right, that required a financial investment on their part that then led them to a point where they couldn't afford to pay rent. And so all of a sudden they find themselves without a home. And when you take that step, now your world crashes down, and all of a sudden you find yourself experiencing those other symptoms like potentially addiction or struggling with mental health challenges.
Yeah.
And so, one thing we're excited about, we've got a new art exhibit that we've developed called Faces Beyond Homelessness. And to your point, this is an opportunity for us to lend a little bit of humanity to these experiences. And so we worked with a local artist down in Naples named Wendy Wagner, who came in. She interviewed several of our residents here, and was able to develop these portraits that really are going to tell the story of a lot of our residents that goes beyond those stigmas.
And I think, are we seeing some of those right now? Yeah, we're seeing some of the beautiful
it's
pictures.
just a really, really amazing opportunity for us.
We're getting some comments on Facebook, so keep asking those questions if you want to. Yeah, I think, and in Southwest Florida, we hear so often too about like the newer issue, if you will, of like seniors not being able to afford, their rent or a home anymore. And so anyone can end up in this situation. I think that's what we need to remember and take away from
Yeah,
that.
particularly seniors, who are generally living on a fixed income, right? So if their income is fixed, but their rent is increasing every year, it becomes increasingly difficult to make sure they can maintain that. And then you throw in, situations. We've got a woman, who found herself in a place where she was able to get a roommate, but a couple years into that situation, the roommate fell into dementia, right? And then obviously was no longer able to provide. And so now she found herself, needing support of St. Matthew's House, because the plan that she thought was going to be there for quite a while fell apart. And so she turned to us for support.
So you talked about like a catering company, and we know about the thrift stores, the restaurant. Are a lot of the employees who are catering, who are working at the restaurant, are they former people that you served?
They are. Across the organization, about 40-50% of our employees are actually men and women that have experienced restoration through St. Matthew's House, whether they've come through our shelter program or through our Justin's Place recovery program. And certainly is true at Lulu's Kitchen. And so if you come to Lulu's Kitchen on any given day, it's likely that the man or woman that's going to help you at your table is somebody who has experienced that restoration through our programs. And even beyond that, not just the employment opportunity, but likely has been restored to their families, been restored back to society. And so it's a really beautiful, holistic picture, this beautiful opportunity that we have to restore these lives.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you guys tackle so much at St. Matthew's House. I want to talk about the drug addiction aspect for a second. If someone is listening and they're like, listen, this is something I'm dealing with in my family or myself, what are the parameters, requirements for getting help from St. Matthew's House?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is they just call our number. So if you go to our website, stmatthewshouse.org, the first thing that's going to pop up is a question, do you need help? And if somebody's looking for help, you click that button, that'll take you right to the phone number, to the person that you need to reach out to. We've got people right there, right now, waiting to receive those calls and to talk through that situation. The reality is about 17% nationally, 17% of people above the age of 12 struggle with some kind of addiction. Now, not everybody thinks that they struggle with an addiction.
Right.
So we know the demand is great. And so the next step then is to helping people to identify that they do need help, and then for us to be there to support them on that journey. Now our program, it's a 12-month faith-based program, so it's a significant investment for the men and women that want to begin that journey toward restoration. But we're really pleased, with the success that we see through that program, and not just for the individual, but for the success that we see in them being restored to family, being restored to faith. Our program is a holistic program. So not only can they find restoration from their addiction, but we also provide those opportunities you talked about for workforce development, to provide employment, to provide housing. So graduates of our recovery program can stay with us for up to 2 years after they graduate.
That's awesome.
To give them that catalyst, that kickstart back to society.
It's like a safety net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I mean, obviously you have so many success stories. Are there any that really stand out to you? Because I just want to drive home the point. Like, if somebody is or watches this on social media, like, you're not permanently stuck where you are. Anyone can come out of this situation.
There is hope. And you come to any of our properties and you'll meet somebody
Yeah, I
that's
love that.
experienced that restoration,
love
right?
that.
I think, to your point, we see them all every day, but one that comes to mind, actually just yesterday, we celebrated the 5-year work anniversary of one of our directors at our shelter program. And this woman is somebody that came through our Justin's Place recovery program. You know, we met her at her point of deepest need. And now here 5 years later, she's a vital part of our mission. She's now found an amazing husband, you know, who also is a graduate of our program, also an employee of ours, one of our valuable members.
Wow.
She's an incredible teammate, but perhaps most importantly, the thing I'm most excited about is the opportunity she's had to restore the relationship with her son, whom, you know, for so many years wanted nothing to do with her. Because, admittedly, she'll tell you, because of the choices that she's made.
You set boundaries, but now she's
so
welcome.
now she's in a position, so when I talk to her and I see the way that she lights up, because she now has this relationship with her son. She went to Busch Gardens with them a couple weeks ago. You know, he's reaching out to her for advice, and so just to see the way that she lights up when she talks about her son and the relationship that she's been able to restore makes it all worth it.
You were VP of programs. Now you are CEO. How long have you been at St. Matthew's House?
About 2.5 years.
2.5 years. And can you talk about what you get to witness, like almost every day that you're there? Can you talk about that fuel, that motivation that like gets you through the everyday?
Yeah, I mean, it's stories like that, right?
Yeah.
Because this work, ask anybody at St. Matthew's House or anybody really that works in the nonprofit human services sector. It's hard work.
It's hard work.
Oh my gosh, I used to work in it.
It's messy,
Yeah.
it's frustrating some days, but when you find those moments of joy, you know, just on Saturday, we had a group in and there's at our shelter, and we've got a young boy, he's about 1.5 years, right? But to see him smiling, to swinging on the swing, and then as the group was coming by, he was standing there and he wanted to give nuts to all the people coming by. And just to know, like, it's quite likely that a month before he was probably having to live in the car
Wow.
with his mom, or
Wow.
maybe couch surf, you know,
Wow.
with really no idea. And still he's young, but really no idea what life, you know, has in store for him. Life to the full, we like to talk about. And so it's stories like that, you know, watching the way that people, once they get those immediate needs taken care of, once they don't have to worry about where they're going to sleep, once they don't have to worry about where
Yes.
their next meal is going to come
Yes.
from, then they can begin to dream about what's next on their journey.
Yeah, and that's the thing with St. Matthew's House. You have all of those tiers, right? You have the immediate, I need help. You have the homeless shelter. You have the housing. You have the jobs support. So it's an amazing organization. We appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it without folks like you, so we appreciate it.
Listen, I don't know what is the name of the PR person that you guys with your marketing.
Bob Erzek.
Bob Erzek
Yeah.
is in our inbox like
He's the man.
once a day.
Yeah.
Literally every day.
Shout out Bob.
Shout out Bob. And Bob does such a great job of painting the picture of what you guys do. And really, it's just by telling the stories of people that are impacted. So shout out to you guys and all you're doing, because that's the story side of it, right? But like the work is a whole nother thing. So we appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to Bob, always in our inbox. And
Yes.
most of the time, I'm actually reading your emails,
good
Bob.
stuff.
'cause
We
it's
do
good
read
stuff.
them.
Yeah.
Anything else before we wrap up that you want to?
I'm sorry.
You're so excited.
Yeah, because the art exhibit to me is like super profound. What are the details for the art exhibit?
Yeah, so if you go to stmatthewshouse.org, you can find the Faces Beyond Homelessness link.
Okay.
It's got a little kind of promo video. It'll talk about all the different locations where this exhibit's going to be around town throughout the season, all the way through the spring, different events and things like that. We want to get it out there as much as possible. If there's somebody that would be willing to or interested in hosting the exhibit for a day, a couple days, a week, we'd love to talk to them.
Okay.
Any place where you've got a lot of people that are going to be coming by to see it, because we want to get these stories out there to break that stigma, to introduce people to the idea that these are our neighbors, and we want to be there to support them.
I love that.
I'm sorry, I have one more question.
Please.
What do you say to the person who's watching who is on the brink of homelessness right now? I mean, it's fill in the blank is real, right? And they're looking at their bank account, they're looking at the bills coming in. What do you say to that person who's like, I might need help, but I'm a little nervous to ask, or
Or I'm not
that
quite
person,
there.
I'm not quite there.
Yeah.
Maybe I can make it. What do you say to that person?
Yeah, that's why we exist, right? So just call us. Even if you're unsure, we've got
that's good.
folks to answer that phone to walk them through that process. And if we can't support them directly, we can connect them to resources. As I said, it takes an incredible village, right? And so we're certainly not the only nonprofit working here in Southwest
Yes.
Florida. And we've got some amazing partners that we're able to come alongside. And so if we don't have the answer, we can hopefully connect them to somebody else that can support. But it just takes that call, and we're here. You know, there's no stigma. No, on the other, all you're going to find at the end of the line is somebody that loves you and wants what's best for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Don't wait till it's too late.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So to learn more, go to their website, stmatthewshouse.org.
Yep. stmatthewshouse.org. You can find us on Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
Shop at their thrift stores, volunteer when you can, donate when they need blankets, when we have those cold snaps
Yes.
and all the fun stuff that they need, and
Yes.
and just help our fellow neighbors out. So thank you again for joining
Thank you.
us. We really
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you very
it.
much.
For the next 30 minutes, we're going to give you some more news of the day. And then what's today? Thursday.
Yeah.
We won't be back until Tuesday
We'll miss
because, you
ya.
know, slacker over here.
Do not call Ben a slacker.
I was looking at Lips McGee over there.
Shut up! Y'all are seeing the real Amy
Oh,
Wegman.
man. Love you all. All right. We're going to give you news of the day for the next 30 minutes. Have an awesome one.
Have a good day, Southwest Florida.
Bye, guys.